The other thing is that I wanted to update the board that the contamination on the Gulf Harbors golf course has been remediated by the sellers, and run through a little history of where we are. So I think it was even before 2015, because I've now been commissioner for 8 years, and they came to me as soon as I got elected. The Gulf Harbors Community Association, they came to the county and they asked for help with a solution that would get the golf course property out of third-party ownership, to remove the possibility of development, and to have an area where the community can recreate and enjoy the property. And this was because there are approximately 18 homes in Gulf Harbors, and because of the age of the community, there is no mandatory HOA with assessment authority. So the community has no way to buy the golf course property. The community has no solution unless the county buys the property. So this board stepped up for the Gulf Harbors community, and we got the property under contract. Since the contamination on the property has now been remediated, I'm asking this board to step up again to move forward and close on the property. The challenge to the MSBU is still pending, but it doesn't change the fact that the Gulf Harbor community has no solution if the county does not close on the purchase. I'd also remind the board that we're talking about a one-time payment of $335 for each house for the purchase, or $67 for 5 years. Maintenance and capital improvements would be $33 a year. This is a really fantastic solution for the Gulf Harbors community. We need to give the staff direction today to bring back a revised contract at the next meeting so that this board can approve it and allow the closing to move forward while the MSBU litigation is still pending. The county attorney's office has advised that the revised contract will continue to require FDEP approval on the contamination remediation before closing. This is important to the county and the community, and I'm asking for your support. And I have a motion that I would like to make, and that is to draft a new contract to purchase the Gulf Harbors golf course that is not contingent upon an MSBU, and that allows the county to close after the DE permit requirements have been completed, and bring it back to the October 20th board meeting for approval, and continue to pursue the MSBU after closing. That's my motion.
So I have a motion on the floor. Discussion, Commissioner
I'll second with discussion.
I have a second with discussion. So before we call the vote, we have discussion. Go ahead, sir.
You know, one of the great opportunities that's coming up, that's happened as this thing started from before this coming up now, is the dredging. We're going to do it down in that area as well. And it could provide a betterment to use some of that area too for the spoils coming up. There could be an option too for the residents to try to work on something between now and then when we get to the stage. They might even want to have like a boat storage type thing there where they can actually generate revenue to fund the whole thing too. But I'm happy to take it down for the discussion and just kind of see where it takes us. But I'm glad to see the remediation's done. Kind of takes the price bite away a little bit, knowing we don't have any liability or any conditions. So I think it's going to be a good step forward. And if we look at the revenue that we actually get, tax revenue for a Gulf Harbors area, I was just told there was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath down there that went for $500,000. So when you look at the value that those people create, it wasn't set up with a park in the area. This does create that great opportunity. So thank you for bringing it forward.
Thank you. I mean, especially with COVID and people wanting to get outside and recreate, because there's not a whole lot to do. You can get on your boat, but it's just been so needed for our community.
So I have a motion in this.
I have just
second.
a question. One question.
Yes, sir.
Now, does this mean this is a public park, or is this a private park?
The plan for the community is to have the MSBU, and we will have there will be a private part to the golf course community, to the property. The E-Lamp is buying half of it, so we're only talking about, you know, the other half. But the E-Lamp part can be public, but they have to go make an appointment, just like any other E-Lamp property. They can go on the E-Lamp side of the
Mr. Chairman.
area, but I believe they have to have an appointment to go in.
So it
I'm
is,
going to Mr. Steinson wants to clarify.
so it is a public park if the county is using public funds
Right.
to purchase it. What the commissioner is trying to indicate is that, like other public assets, That doesn't mean the public has the right to use it immediately. So the ELAMP, the environmentally sensitive area that ELAMP is using ELAMP money for could only be used based on the rules and regulations that the board sets up for that. It's not open to the public.
Ms. Pearson, did you have something?
No, I just couldn't hear.
Oh, okay. I understand. Maybe we, and I apologize, maybe we can just crank the mics up just a little bit for the people in the rear. Thank you. Do I have any other questions, Commissioner Oakley?
That's it.
So from my understanding is there is a motion on the floor with a second that there will be an agreement brought back to the county commission on the October 20th, is that correct? October 20th meeting for review and a vote, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I have a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion passes. Thank you.